Hi, third grade. This is your math lesson for Thursday, the 26th. Today we're going to work on long division with remainders. So similar to what we've been doing, but just with the remainders in the quotient. When we're dividing, the numbers that are left over that can't make another full group are the remainders. So let's start, get your notebooks, let's do some practice problems, and then you're going to work in your packet 19-1 with some more problems to work on your own, okay? So now that you have your notebook, let's open up to a new page, and I'm going to read a word problem and we're going to work it out together, okay? So let's see, if we have 23 members of a marching band marching in rows of 4, how many rows are there and how many band members are left? Okay, so we're starting out with 23 band members and they're marching in rows of 4. So that means we've got a total number of 23 and we're dividing into as many equal groups of 4 as we can. So let's see what happens, okay? So I'm going to make rows of 4 and I'm going to count as I do it until I can get as many full groups as I can of 4. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Okay, I have to stop there. I got to 23. I can see that this is not a full row of band members down here. So I'm going to circle it just to remind myself. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to count my rows that had complete groups of 4 band members, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means we got 5 groups of 4. With a remainder, the people left over down here, let's not forget about them, remainder of 3. 5, remainder 3. Okay, let's look at this problem in a different way. Now let's do it with our long division, okay? Same problem, 23 band members, and we know we want groups of 4, so that means our divisor is 4. Okay, 4 cannot go into 2, so we know we're going to do 4 into 23 instead. Okay, and when we do that, we're going to try 5 up here. I'm putting it over to 3 because it cannot go, 4 cannot go into 2. You've got to make sure you're putting it in the right spot. Okay, so 5 times 4 is 20. We multiplied, now we subtract, and we get 3. So where's this going to go, though? It's part of the quotient. If it's part of the quotient, it has to go on top of the diving board, even if it's a remainder. So we're going to bring it up here, and the way we write it is remainder 3. Same answer, different way to get it. What I want to show you is we were practicing using multiplication to check our division. And we were dividing the quotient times the divisor to make sure, or not dividing, we were multiplying the quotient times the divisor to see if we got the dividend. And then if we did, we knew our division was correct. Well, it's a little bit different when we have a remainder. There's one more step. So let's check this one together. So like I said, we're going to do 5 for one factor, the quotient, and we're going to do 4, the divisor, for the other factor, and our product is 20. Well, wait a minute, 20 doesn't match our dividend. The reason it doesn't match is because the extra step with remainders is we have to add them in. So if we take our 20 plus 3, our remainder, then we have our matching answer. And our division is correct. Okay? If you didn't quite get that, don't worry. We're going to practice it again. Okay? The next problem I want you to write in your notebook is 17 divided by 3. How are you going to write that? 17 divided by 3. Go ahead and write that down, and I'm going to write it too. Oops. So 3 is the divisor, 17 is the dividend, the number we're dividing up. How many times can equal groups of 3 go into 17? Let's find out. All right, so 3 cannot go into 1, so we're not going to put anything up here. How many times can 3 go into 17? Well, we know from our math facts, our multiplication facts, that a close one would be 5. So let's try 5. Now we multiply. 5 times 3 is 15. Okay, divide, multiply, subtract. Okay, 15 from 17, and we get 2. So 2 is our remainder. It's part of the quotient, so if we leave it down here, that's not correct. We have to bring it up to the top of the diving board if it's part of the quotient, right? Okay, so our answer is 5 equals groups of 3 with a remainder of 2. Let's check it, okay? So to check, we're going to have 5 times 3 equals 15. Okay. Got that so far? We have to add on the remainder when we're checking with remainders. So we'll take our 15 and we add our 2, and then we have the matching dividend, and we know our division is correct. Okay? All right. One more. Let's do one more together. This time I want you to write 52 divided by 5. 52 divided by 5. So your 52 is the dividend, so it's going underneath the diving board is what we're going to divide up, and the divisor is 5. How many equal groups of 5 can we get into 52? That's what we're trying to figure out. So first we divide. Can 5 go into 5? Yep, it can. It can go once. So that 1's going to go over the 5. 1 times 5 is 5. We subtract and we get 0. 5 can't go into 0, so let's bring down that 2. 5 can't go into 2. So now we know. Okay, so this one's a little tricky. That's why I wanted to do it with you. So what are we going to put here? 5 couldn't go into 2. So what do you think we put up there? We put a 0. And then our remainder is brought up. Does that make sense to you? Let's check it and see if we were right. Okay? So 10 times 5 equals 50. Right? And then we take our 50 and we add our remainder of 2 and we get 52. Okay? All right? So, when you go to your packet, 19-1, today you are going to do page 46. And when you're looking at that, it says to check your answers. So please do use multiplication. So you're going to use multiplication, and then you have to remember to add on your remainder to get the correct check, okay? Like we just did. Then it says use counters or draw a picture to find the quotient and remainder for some of the questions. A good counter that everyone usually has around their house is like a jar of pennies. If you don't have a jar of pennies, maybe ask your parents if you could use a cup of Cheerios or raisins. If you have raisins at your house, ask your parents though, get their permission. And if you don't want to use counters to make equal groups, you can use your nest and egg, or you can do dots, rows like I did with the marching band. But the counters are a really good way for you to see the groups, and what's left over is the remainders. So I suggest trying it with counters, okay? All right, I think you should be good on this page. If you have any questions, please make a note of it in your mind or write them down and ask your parents to email them to me. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Thanks.